Hello all and welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing somewhat of a story time video about my last relationship. I was going to do the Fashion Week lookbook, which that is for sure 100% going to be my next video, I promise. But like I was just thinking about like my last relationship and I was like, oh my gosh, this is actually kind of an interesting story that I kind of want to share with you guys. So I'm kind of just going to get right into it. Okay, so I was going out. Okay, let me tell you guys how we first started meeting. I was going out with this boy for a year, and it was about 2 years ago. It was 2015, and I met him because he worked across the street from me, and he worked at a restaurant, and my coworker and I, we go to that restaurant all the time. So we went in and to get breakfast, and he was there but he wasn't working there, and I didn't know that he worked there, but I knew he looked familiar. But he was speaking to the cashier guy, and they looked like they knew each other, and they're like laughing and talking, whatever. And as we were ordering, I kept telling like my coworker, I was like, oh my gosh, like he's like so my type, he's so cute. And then she was like, oh, Vanessa, your trip, whatever. But he was just so cute. So we left already, and I was like, Jasmine, I really do, like, he's really cute. Like, I can't even get it out of my mind. He was so cute. And she was like, you know what you should do? You should like call and see if he's still there, because him and the cashier guy, they seem to know each other. So I was like, all right. And me, I'm the type of person, like when I want something, like I go after it, because I don't like being like, damn, like what if, or like, damn, I should have. Like I just like going right into it. So I called the restaurant and I was like, hey, that boy you were talking to, he was really cute. I mean, what's the deal with him? And then the cashier guy's like, oh, that's my boy, I'm gonna name him Andrew. He's like, oh, that's my boy Andrew. Yeah, we go way back. He works here, whatever. I was like, oh, you know, if he's single, you might want to slide him my number. That's cool and all. He was like, yo, I got you. Like, I got you. So I didn't think he was really gonna do it, but like maybe like an hour later, I get a text from the number, and I was like, hey, this is Andrew. I heard you want to talk to me, blase blase. And I was like, yeah. At first I was like, who is this? But I really knew who it was, so I was just trying to figure it out together. So he had asked me like on a date, and I was like, yeah, sure. But he asked me on a date for that following Friday, and I said yeah, but then I realized I had to work, so I had to cancel on him. But eventually we went on a date, and it was probably it was like my first official date, and it was like so sweet, so nice. We met up at this restaurant. Like where I worked, it was just a strip full of restaurants. So we met up at this restaurant, and he complimented me on my outfit, and then we had like a good conversation. He was telling me that his dad owned that restaurant, and that his dad owned the restaurant that he worked at. And I was like, oh wow, like this guy's a keeper. So then dates over, whatever, I go home. I mean, he like wants to drive me home, but I wasn't going home. I was going back to New York, because I live in Connecticut. He was like, oh, like I'll drive you to New York, like it's not a problem. And I was like, whoa, I don't know you like that. Like I am very like, what's that word? Like I take a lot of safety precaution. Like in my mind, I think everybody's like a psycho killer. So I was like, nah, that's good. I'm okay. And he's like, no, I'll take it. I was like, no. He's like, cool, can I at least take you like to the train station or something? I was like, okay, you can take me to the train station. So he drove me all the way to the train station, and from there, after like a couple days, we started going out. And I wear my heart on my sleeve. Like I love I love everything that's to do with love. I'm just such a hopeless romantic, and our relationship was just going amazing. Like he knew about me, I knew about him. I told him that I was still a virgin, and he was okay with that. And I was like, yes, like finally, like I don't have to deal with like a guy who doesn't care if I'm a virgin or not, whatever. And he brought me to his house, which was like a huge mansion. I had never been at a big house like that. It was a mansion, like land, like acres. Like it was amazing. And I met his sisters, his dad, his mom. They all loved me, and it was like the best summer like of my, like we met in like maybe like March, and we like were together for like that whole year. And it was just the best summer like of my life. Like we would just do Netflix and chill. We would eat wings and drink alcohol. He would watch his football, I would watch my wrestling. We'd flip back and forth. We'd watch the NBA together. Like we had, it was the most fun relationship. Like I had so much fun. Like it was so much fun. My mom loved him. Like it was great. So let's get to the messy part. So our relationship's going good or whatever, and let's say like September he gets his license suspended and he can't drive for a month. So we start to not really hang out as much, but we still keep in contact and FaceTime or whatever. And then in late September, his sister quits his job because it was like a family business. And there were like 3 people who worked there. The chef, the sister was the hostess, and him, who was like the cashier. And his sister had quit, so they were looking for another hostess. And I remember him telling me about that. And mind you, his sister was gorgeous. So I was like, thank God that's his sister. But yeah, so he said that they were looking for another hostess. And I was like, I'm very insecure. And in my mind, I was like, damn, I hope she's not like beautiful, gorgeous, whatever. So yeah, so then there's that. Then one day I'm at work. And you know, my coworkers, they go to that restaurant all the time. And one of the boys that I work with, one of the stockroom boys, he's like, yo, Vanessa, like, you know, there's like a new girl working there, right? Mind you, everybody at work knows about our relationship because he would come and like bring me lunch, and like he'd come at my job and shop and like bring me gifts and stuff. Like, so everybody at work knew him. So they were like, yo, Vanessa, like, you know, like there's another girl working there, right? And I'm thinking, we're gonna call this stock boy Tyree. I'm thinking Tyree is like just kidding, because you know they love to mess with me because they know I'm really jealous, so they always like to play all the games. So he was like, yo, there's like a girl who's working there and you might have some competition. And I was like, you're lying. He's like, look, call the restaurant. So I called the restaurant. Some girl picks up. She's like, blah 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 blah, how may I help you? I was like, what time do you guys close? You know, so it doesn't look like I just called for no reason. And she told me whatever, and I was like, damn, I'm not gonna make a big deal out of it. I trust him. So a couple days later, he comes to my job, and he's like, oh, you know, there's a new girl working at my job, right? I was like, oh yeah, I heard. And he's like, oh, she's like cute, you know. This is the exact word. He's like, oh, she's cute and stuff, but you're like way cuter than her and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay. I didn't really know what to think about that. And then our relationship, ever since the girl starts working there, our relationship just keeps going down and down. Like, we don't hang out as much, we don't really talk as much. We see each other like once in a while, or when we do see each other, it's like really quick. He was starting to like cancel or stuff like that. Like he just wasn't the same ever since this girl started working there. And I kept asking like my coworkers and my cousin, who's like my best friend, I was like, what do you think is going on? And they're like, just talk to him. So we had a conversation on the phone, and he said that his parents were pressuring him about school and stuff like that. So he doesn't mean anything by it as far as like being distant from me. He's just really stressed out about like his parents forcing him to go to this school and when he wants to go to another school, and he's not doing so good right now with his classes, so he was just a little stressed out about school. But he's like, it's fine, don't worry about it. So then I'm like, okay, that's whatever. So then one day he comes to my job, we hang out in the basement. That job was so lit, like it was so lit. But he comes down, we hang out in the stock room, and we're watching a music video on his phone. And as we're watching it on his phone, he gets a text from this girl, we'll name her Amy. And it has, you know, like when you have an iPhone, the name comes up and then it goes back up. And it said Amy, and it had a bunch of hearts next to her name. And I was like, who's Amy? You know, not coming at him in any type of way. I was like, oh, who's Amy? You know, he's like, oh, that's just the girl that I work with. She probably wants me to take her shift again, blah, blah, blah. I was like, why is there so many hearts next to her name? And he was like, oh, she did that. Like, she just took my phone and did all that. I totally forgot to delete it. And I was like, in my mind, I'm like, something's just not right. Like, I just don't trust it. And he like completely changed the subject. And I was like, okay, you know what? I had to keep my eye on this one. And so that was that. Then, gosh, so long. His birthday comes in October. We don't get to do anything for his birthday because his license was suspended, so we didn't get to do anything for his birthday, but I did get him a gift. So that was his birthday. November comes, Thanksgiving. We're gonna fast forward to Thanksgiving. He calls me crying. Not even like, not crying, but he was really upset, like close to tears. And I was on Thanksgiving, and that's why I'll never forget this. And he calls me, he's like, I was like, what's wrong? Like, why do you sound like that? He was like, oh, how do you think that our relationship's going now? I was like, could be better, but like, it's fine to me. And then he was just like really upset, and I was like, did you like do something? Like, what happened? Like, I'm worried. He was like, no, I just want to make sure like you think our relationship is going good and stuff like that, because I just want you to be happy and I want to be happy too. And we were just having this long conversation. I was like, I mean, are you worried about school? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, I'm worried about the whole long distance thing. Mind you, he's worried about long distance, but the school he wants to go to is 3 stops away from me on the train. So I'm like, long distance? To me, long distance is like California. So he's like, yeah, I'm just worried about like the long distance thing, but you know, we'll try to make it work. Like, don't worry about it. So then there was that conversation. Christmas comes. Mind you, we're not hanging out as much. We hang out probably like once a week. We're not hanging out as much. We're not talking as much. It's just downhill. And then I'm like, something is wrong. Like, he's distant. Like, I know it's school, but it's something else. And then it was, what did I say? Oh, now it's December. He comes to my job, and it's like Christmas time or whatever. And you know, we exchange Christmas gifts. Boom, that's it. New Year's comes, and normally, I don't know if it's just me, but normally you're supposed to spend New Year's like with like someone you love or someone you like or whatever, your boyfriend, girlfriend, or you know, at church or whatever. But I went to spend New Year's with him, but he said he had already made plans with his cousin to go to the city, and he was like, oh, but you can come if you want. And one, I don't get invited to things like that. Like, you don't ask me to be like, oh, you can come if you want. That's not how you invite me, let alone your girlfriend. So I said no. He's like, oh, are you sure? And I was like, yeah. And then he was like, I know, like, I wanted to do something with you too, but he like asked me first, and he's like, family, so like I had to do it. I was like, all right, no problem. He's like, babe, are you mad at me? I was like, no, whatever, I'm just gonna do my own thing. So January comes, the month of my birthday. So it's around like January, like around, my birthday's on the 26th, so the 25th, the eve of my birthday, he comes to my job. Mind you, my job was closing January 31st, so I was like already stressed out, so keep that in mind. So he comes to my job January 25th. Then he pulls, you know, he drives or whatever, and he pulls me to the side, and we have like this long talk in the car. And then I was like, you know what, like, I feel it. I think, you know, let's just end it because it's just not going well anymore. And he's like, yeah, like, I agree, but it's not because I don't like you anymore. Like, I still really, really do like you. But like, and this is exactly what he said. He's like, but you just like laugh a lot, and I don't know why, like, you always laugh a lot. And people always say I laugh a lot, which is true, but I laugh when like it's like an awkward situation. So he was like saying that's why he was breaking up with me, because I was laughing a lot. And I was like, okay. And then I was like, is that really the reason? And then he's like, oh, and then school and stuff. And you know, I just feel like you just need a better guy because you're such a good girl, and I'm not a good guy at all. So I just feel like you need like a good, wholesome church boy, because you know, like, I love church and stuff like that. And I was like, does this have anything to do with Amy? And then he was like, oh, Amy, like, yeah, like, we have been like hanging out a lot and stuff like that. But, and I was like, so you were hanging out, we were hanging out at least like once a week, and you were telling me you were hanging out with this girl more than you were hanging out with your own girlfriend, and you didn't want to break up with me because you're saying, oh, that I laugh a lot, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, well, it's not just that, it's like the whole like virginity thing too. Like, you know, like, you're a virgin and I'm not, and you know, like, I'm a guy, and like, I have needs and things like that. And I was like, that's funny, because when we first started going out, you said that wasn't going to be an issue, and you said you weren't going to pressure me and things like that. So he was just coming up with so many excuses. So then I just got out the car. I was like, you know what, you do you have fun with Amy, because I know this is what it's about. Boom. So then we break up on the eve of my birthday. This is where it gets like love and hip hop messy. So then I'm over here, I'm venting to my coworkers, and I'm like, you guys, like, this is what happened, blase, blase. And then one of my coworkers, will call him, Nick. So Nick goes, Amy, like, why does that name sound so familiar? And then he was like, what does she look like? Mind you, I had never seen what the girl looked like, ever. Like, I had never went into the job ever since she started working there. And then the backstock kid, what did I name him? Tyree. He was like, oh, I know what she looks like. She's like Spanish, blah, blah, blah. And then Nick is like, why does that name sound so familiar? And then he's like, wait, is this her Instagram? He types in her Instagram. He shows Tyree. He's like, yup, that's the girl. What's his name? Nick was like, oh my gosh, I know this girl. I went to high school with her. She is the biggest smut, like, ever. Like, she is known for being a smut. Like, I went to high school with her. And then I was like, oh my gosh, like, are you serious? And then he was like, Vanessa, that's why, because she's like really easy, like, she'll give it up like that. That's probably why, like, he broke up with you to go out with her or hook up with her, because she is easy. I was like, oh my gosh. And then as I'm scrolling through the Instagram, I'm looking at her pictures, you know, trying to scope her out. I was like, did a double take. I was like, is that my man on her Instagram? And it said, New Year's Eve, spending time with my man. And it was a picture of her and my man at the time in New York City. And I was like, didn't he say he was spending time in New York City with his cousin on New Year's Eve? So he lied to me when he was really hanging out with her. I was like, oh my gosh, like, you were lying. Kept scrolling down some more. She took a picture of like a window. And I was like, this window looks familiar. Like, this view looks familiar. I like squint my eyes some more. It's the window in his bedroom that looks out to his entire driveway. And I was like, oh my gosh, what was she doing in his bedroom at the time we were going out? I was just finding more and more, like, it was just, I couldn't even look at her Instagram anymore, because I was just like, wow, like, this dude was either going out with us at the same time or he was cheating on me with her. I was like, wow, I never want to talk to this guy ever again. So my job closes down. I move to I start working in New York, and it just became like a fresh start to me. I'm like, okay, I'm done with him, I'm done with this job here. Like, I just want a clean start. So I couldn't even concentrate on my birthday, which was like the next day, because I was just like, wow, like, whoa. So that was 2015. 2016, which was last year, he hits me up on Snapchat at the end of the year, probably like November. A long Snapchat message saying he's sorry, he's getting bad karma for everything, he still thinks I'm beautiful, he wants to talk to me, he wants to work things out. But it was so long, and I was shocked because we hadn't talked for like since I had left him in that car. We hadn't talked at all, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, it's just like I didn't know what to think. And then it took me like about 2 or 3 hours to figure out what to write back. And as much as I hated him, I really still did like him, because we had such a good relationship. And it was just like, wow, like, whoa. And we talked it out like on Snapchat, and he said whenever we want to meet up, we can meet up. And till this day, I haven't met up with him since the day we actually broke up. But like, I'm still broken by it, because I really did like him. I thought he was like the one. Until this day, he still doesn't know that I know everything that happened between him and the girl. Like, he thinks I'm completely clueless. Like, he knows like that I know they were like together or whatever, but he doesn't know that I know that he was going out with her or hooking up with her at the same time he was with me. So when I see him, which I'm hoping it's soon, probably this month, I'll probably hit him up. I just want to talk to him about everything. I mean, would I go back out with him? It sucks, because he's like so my type, like a bad boy, which like I love, but it's just like that's something I have to think about. But I definitely need to hit him up maybe soon and see where we can go from there, because I really do still miss him. As much as I hate him, he definitely taught me a lot, and now I'm more open as far as like talking to guys and stuff. Or before I was just like scared out of my mind, like shy. But like now, like if it wasn't for him, like I wouldn't be as open as I am now. I wouldn't be like as shy as I was, because before I was really shy, and he really helped me open up and just be myself and let loose. And so yeah, that's my story. That is my last relationship that I was in. It's kind of messy, kind of crazy, but just a lesson learned. Like if I didn't have Nick to show me those pictures, I would have been fooled. I would have been like, wow, okay, maybe he was really stressed out about school and stuff. Not saying he wasn't, but like there was more to it. So it's like, thank God I had good friends around me. Thank God for social media, because I would have just been fooled this whole time. But girls, just be careful of who you like and who you fall in love with and who you lose it to. Thank God, like, I didn't lose my virginity to him. That would have been really bad. Now, I think I wouldn't have even forgiven myself or him if that would have happened. So, yeah. So, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys can take something from this. Follow me. Comment below what you guys think.